Hello and welcome back. Me and you, huh? It's been a minute. This is Life in Recovery with Recovery Red. This episode is going to be about parenthood, lost connections, navigating parenthood after addiction. I have a friend that brought this up and asked if I could talk about it, and I'll be honest, it's a subject that is very close and dear to myself. So I can't see why I wouldn't want to do this. It's been on my list. I didn't know what I was going to title it, but here we are. Um, a lot of us go through addiction and we have kids and we don't realize the harm we're doing because unfortunately addiction rules everything. And that's a really hard thing. It's difficult to grasp that in the moment because addiction is running your life. And then when you get clean, it's the biggest swarm of emotions that for one to handle. It really is, and I'm not saying that to say, "Oh, woe is one in addiction and in recovery" by any means. I just know that I've lived it and I'm still living it. 39 years old, and I haven't seen my daughter in almost 6 years. So, you know, I get it. So the only thing I can hope is that maybe I can help somebody else. Um, the hardest thing I feel like a parent would have to go through is burying their own child, right? I I don't know. I don't think that I don't know. I go through a lot of pain every day over this. Um, I even when I was doing good, just to give you some background about me, because I don't mind. Even when I was doing good and I wasn't in my addiction, um, I was actually called, and I remember the words because they cut so hard. It hurt because it wasn't at all me. What I was doing was, showing off pictures of my daughter, but my ex-wife called me a Facebook father. Um, untrue words couldn't have been spoken. Untruer words couldn't have been spoken. I did things. Listen, being a father was my first time. I didn't know anything. I didn't have a father around when I was a kid, and I'm not using that as an excuse, but I definitely tried. And I agree, addiction took time away from her, and I am more than sorry. I am just absolutely the hard part I have with this whole thing is I haven't forgiven myself. Um, I just I write my daughter. From what I understand, she's getting them. Whether or not she's reading them wasn't said, but I was informed that she's getting them. So when we're in our addiction, our kids, as much as we are going through, they suffer the most. We take time away from them, times that mean a lot to them. And, here I was growing up without a father from 8 years old forward. And I essentially was here and did the same thing to my daughter while being here. In and out, jail, rehab, fortunate enough to feel like I had her mother trying to help. You know, unfortunately, a lot of people, when it comes to addiction, they make it about the person. They make it so personable that they don't think about the addiction end of things, and that's unfortunate. But there's nothing we can do to that. It's only up to the other person. I've been in and out of recovery a couple of times. For me personally, I've had times where I was just completely true about everything. I've had times where I lied about everything. Um, I've had times where I was being a good father, I thought. I've had times where I know I've been a bad father or no father at all. It sucks, and one thing I can say is you don't give up. Some people out there, they're fortunate enough to have kids that want to be a part of their life. Um, you can't make up for that lost time. So it's just more and more lost time, compounded on compound. Um, Unfortunately, coming to conclusions where you realize your your child just doesn't want anything to do with you. Um, I'm not gonna, there's certain things that I'm not gonna share. There's no need to right now, but I, people want to get back at you sometimes, and that's the part when they do it out of spite, then it's no good. It's just they don't realize it's making it. They're being no different. They're not superior because they're on the other side of the addiction and not in the addiction and never have been in the addiction. I the best thing I can say is if your kids are trying, take advantage of it. Spend time with them. Give the effort. Get back to normal. Get back to life on life's terms. It's worth it. Otherwise, you're going to be 39, going on 6 years and not seeing your child or children, and it's just going to hurt every day. Now, if you want to get back into addiction, hey, it's waiting. You know what scares me the worst about addiction is it's so easy to relapse. So easy to go back to all that, and that's not saying it's easy as in you want to. It's easy because it is just easier than all this work it's taken to go forward in recovery. And it's not just about our children, it's about life in general. It's all worth it, every bit of it. I just celebrated 9 months on January 5th. In some cases, I feel like it's been 9 months and I feel like I've made a lot of strides. But in some cases, I feel like I'm at ground zero anyway. I'm still here. Not anyway, as in I want to use, but I've done all this work and it's just been busy work. I'm not doing anything to make things better. Maybe I'm failing. Maybe maybe there's something I'm not doing. I'm here to tell you the truth of the matter is you keep your focus. You don't take away from the fact that you took away from time you should have been spending with your children. You don't take away, you validate their feelings. However they feel, you validate it. Let them know that you're listening to them, that you care what they have to say. Let them know that you're going to do everything it takes in your power. Go to meetings, have a sponsor, be in the recovery, be an active member in the recovery community. I'm a firm believer that if you follow the big book, NAAA. If you follow that and you stay active member, I'm a firm believer that you're gonna make it years until that man above takes you on that little nice elevator ride without the elevator. I can't tell you what the future holds. I can't tell you if you're gonna get hit by a car tomorrow. I can't even tell you if you're gonna wake up tomorrow. What I can tell you is if you do wake up, something I've learned, which is different for me, but I'm actually enjoying it. Get on your knees, say a prayer. Thank Him for another day of mercy. Thank Him for another day to get to be clean. You get to do these things. Yeah, I am not, unfortunately, with open communication lines to my daughter. Yeah, I never got to see my daughter play high school sports. Yeah, I never got to see my daughter drive a car for the first time. Yeah, I didn't get to hear my daughter tell me about her first boyfriend. So, was addiction worth it? I'd say not. Something I can't do is take away what happened. I'm going to take the spilled milk and start scooping it back into the gallon. It's not going to work. So I'm going to do what I am doing, and that's pick myself up, brush myself off, keep moving forward. If your child does come back around, if they're not around and they do come back around, at least you'll be sober and ready to talk to them and hear them out. You got to hear their side of things. You got to validate it. You got to let them know what they feel is perfectly okay. Everybody's got to be able to feel their feelings. What unfortunately I'm tired of is the people that act like they know it all, like they're protecting somebody. And it's just, it amazes me, you know. I just, there's certain things that happen in life and you just know you're being lied to, or, you know, bipolar comments are made, right? Doesn't mean somebody's bipolar. I'm just saying people make bipolar comments. They make the comment of, "Oh, I'm good this day, but I'm crazy this day." It's just crazy to me. Drives me crazy. Up the wall, down the stairs, back around 3 different times. It's just annoying. You know what sucks for me is, this isn't, I'm not doing about me. I want to help other people. What sucks for me is when I see all these people busting their ass. And then you see these people that aren't actually busting their ass. They're not paying attention to certain things. They're paying attention to the wrong things. But their kids want to be around them. Well, guess what? I don't live my life on their terms, and they don't live their life on my terms. Everybody's story is going to be different. You gotta identify. Don't compare. So identify with the fact that you guys both have children. Identify with the parts that you can identify with. I'm not out here to judge. Trust me, I've gotten enough judgment for both of me and another person across from me whenever there is. Uh, had a speaker, the rehab I went to, our classes were called didactics. I'm sure there's some political reason for all this crap. Couldn't just call them class. Nope, didactics. One of my favorite people I've ever met as a speaker is the head therapist at the rehab I went to. Name's Larry. I called him L Train. This guy, loudest, just most obnoxious person I've ever met as a speaker in recovery. But I remember every bit of it. It's kind of funny how that works out, right? He had everything. Good job. Wife with a good job. And the thing that I identified with him is he started his addiction at 24. I was similar. Um, Prior to that, I wasn't. uh, I may have been a bad person, but I wasn't an addict at the time. Prior to that, I had probably had a lot of growing up to do still, but wasn't an addict. That came later, and all the bad habits compounded on top of bad habits, or I took some bad habits and it made them worse. Brought the worst out of me. Didn't need help, huh? Sometimes I tell myself that. I know it's wrong. It's not true, but these are things we do as addicts. We try to. We don't try to. We do. We put ourselves down. Well, what are we doing? What's the point? We want that instant gratification. Something that we got to realize is how much time and effort we put into our addiction. Put just a little bit of ounce of that towards recovery. Better yet, put all of it. I'm telling you, the return on that would be, just phenomenal. Don't do too much at one time. It could be detrimental. You never know. It could be. I um I miss my daughter very much. I I think about her every day. But it's gonna do no good if I don't stay in this. So I still wake up every day. I say my prayer. I still write in a prayer journal every morning. Sure, I've had to put alarms on my phone to remind me of certain things. Sure, I have to put my wallet underneath my bed to remind me to get on my knees and pray. I'm trying to form habits, but at least they're good ones. And all of it plays a part in me trying to be a better person. Now, God forbid your child doesn't come back around. I've heard it. I've had pastors. I had a pastor, specific, a pastor, one of the best guys you've ever met. And he is a pastor and he lives it. He exudes all that is God, church, the Holy Ghost, all of it, spirit. And unfortunately, his daughter barely came back around. When I heard that, I'm not going to lie to you, my heart dropped. I'm thinking to myself, this guy is 10 times what I am. And his daughter didn't even come back around. He said they maybe call on the holidays to say Merry Christmas. Now, if it was the old me, I would have taken right then and there. I'm out of here. Take my chances. But I got more to live. I know. I do. And if I would have went back, my lifespan would have been so tiny. I can't always tell you that I'm going to tell you the right stuff. I'm not sure. I'm spitballing sometimes. I have some talk points that I want to talk about, some things that I want to bring up. And half the time, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, guys. But I know what my focus is. I know that I'm trying to be a better person. I know that the people that have met me in recovery, I feel like they've met the new person. And I don't say new person as if I'm not still here. Like I'm sure I'm not perfect. But I'm giving the effort. And whatever's meant to be, God's going to take care of me. And that's on my aspect of the part where facts are facts. Don't put all your eggs in one basket and say, oh, well, if they don't want to be a part of my life, what's the point of all this? No, 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 no. I love my daughter very much. The Facebook father, if I'm a Facebook father, I take that as a compliment, I guess, but I think it was said derogatory. I would post pictures because I only had my daughter so much. Just because she wouldn't post pictures like I would, I was a Facebook father. And that always really sucked to hear. And then life about, or life moving forward, that person doesn't care what they've said to you. So you got to take life on life's terms and realize you got to block out everything that people say. You got to keep your focus. Keep moving forward. Be sober and ready to speak to them when they want. I can't stress that enough. That being said, for those of you that have parents, I'm sorry, for those of you that are parents and have children that are in your corner, that are rooting for you, that are pushing for you to be on that, don't let them down. I know it's scary. I know times are hard. I know starting over is so hard. For some, it's more scary than others. But they're looking to you. You got to show them that you got this. You got to let them know that you want to be around for them for life. You don't want to miss anymore. You don't want to be messed up for anything else. You don't want to be that parent like, oh my goodness, will you look at that guy or that girl? Or like, oh, they're up to it again. And you're like just the talk of the neighborhood watch. Like, oh, well, she or he's just walking around with one slipper again. Meanwhile, the kid or kids are making you breakfast, waking you up for work. You come home, they're cooking dinner. There's all different kinds of versions of stuff out there. Everybody's walk's different. One thing that's not different is be sober and be there for your kids no matter what. Whether they're there for you, whether they're not. To thine own self be true. You know, I've said it before, the five remembrances. from Buddhism, the fifth one. My actions are the only ground on which I stand. Sure, I may not ever have a relationship with my daughter, not by my choosing, but my actions led to that, and I have to know that my part was played in that. Moving forward, I don't have any say. I've tried. I'm being told that I have help from my ex-wife. I'll be honest, I don't believe it. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Uh, I don't lie. I mean, anybody that knows me and myself now, I don't lie. I don't do it. I'll tell you anything you want to know. You just gotta ask. I'm brutally honest because I don't see the point in it anymore. I've fucked up everything else in my life. Why do I want to keep doing that? I actually want to have a good life, and I'm not going to get there by lying about everything. And it feels great, to be honest with you. I would feel so much better with my daughter. So much. If you're out there and you're actively in addiction, just realize how much more time you're taking away from your children. Just realize that there's a chance that your child may grow up without a parent because they're going to be at your funeral and then you're going to be gone. If you're lucky, you'll go to jail. And even then, in and out of jail, what kid wants that, right? Now, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about on this. Maybe I'm just rambling. I probably sure have rambled for the last 30 minutes. But it's just that you see it all the time. You got people that are born into addiction. You got people that are into families that are addicted and they try not to be, and then they do turn into an addict. Or you have people that come into addiction of a family of addiction, and they are turned off by it entirely because of what they've grown up around and seen. I can't promise everything's always going to be cupcakes and rainbows because it's not. The biggest thing we got to do in this process is know what part we played in it. Step 4, know our role. Um, the thing about it for me is I'm going to be clean the rest of my life because there's no way I'm taking any chances on anything in my life when it comes to drugs. I'm happy with the direction I'm going, and I'm going to continue on the direction that I am going because I have nothing but genuine and true intentions behind it. And I can only hope that you realize what you have in life and don't be sad because of what you don't have. Be happy because of what you do have. Be happy that there's anybody that wants to be a part of your life, period. I'm not saying it's always easy. Just know you're not alone. You can get into recovery and you can have friends and family. You can get into recovery, have a great life. You may get into recovery and never see your children again. You may get in recovery and have the best relationship you've ever had. Recovery has to be in there, though. Active recovery. Step work. I'm going to step work because I'm going to be honest with that. I'm going to get that peace in my eyes. I've seen that peace a couple of times, but I've seen it. They did their step work. They focused. They had integrity, honesty, rigorous honesty, and a relationship with their higher power. That's how you get there. I'm going to leave you with one final note and sign off, and that is be the person you get the chance, parent that you wish you would have been instead of being in addiction? Somewhere along the line, we got to change the way things work. And the only way we're going to do that is if we actually do change. And we have to change one thing, everything. It takes work. I'm not all the way there yet. I still got a lot of work to do, I'm sure. I believe, but I know I'm taking what it takes. I'm taking the time to do what it takes. If you're actively in addiction, we're here waiting for you. If you're in recovery, keep moving forward. Until next time, stay clean, America.